Everyone dreams of moving to big cities like Toronto, Vancouver, New York, London, Melbourne. A lot of cities around the world are, actually enticing people to move there. But what if I told you the gold mine, the real opportunity, the real growth is not in the big cities? Now the trend has changed. I think you all have must heard about this reverse migration. This is the new trend, and I think this will be the trend for next 1 or 2 decades because the growth perspective has changed. Today I'll explain why reverse migration is a game-changing concept and why everybody who's living abroad or who's living away from their home should consider this video, this concept, this logic for their next steps of the life. This is not a nostalgia talking. This is a pure strategy for the next steps of your life. Let's rewind. For decades back in the past, people have moved from India to places like UK, US, Canada, Australia. For what? For better job opportunities, for security, for safety, for infrastructure, and for better education. Now, all those cities have been overcrowded. Think of having high costs, high rentals, and I think the energy is not being given back the way the energy is being pulled out of you in those big cities. Meanwhile, back home, India is changing like anything. Tier 2 cities, tier 3 cities, वहाँ पे growth के chances are that much prosperous that if you are bringing that exposure which you have in the outer countries would give you the different level of benefit, different level of advantage which you can bring into your businesses, your careers, and make a good move of going back to those small towns. The internet facilities in those cities, the digital payment options, the global connection through the web, all have given the right level of benefit. Doesn't matter if you're living in a big skyscraper in the cities like New York or if you're living in a small hometown city with your own home. So the point comes, why reverse migration? सबसे पहली चीज तो definitely comes as cost effective. So if the rents or if the other expenses are taking a lot of your money, तो आपको ये सोचना है कि जब आप अपना business शुरू करने की सोच रहे हो, you need capital. If you have the place which is costing you less, or if you have the place where there are almost negligible expenses because you're living in your hometown, means you have more money to put in the capital form for your business. Growing demand. India's middle class is chasing the new dream to have better facilities, to have better lifestyles, to have those all facilities which they were not able to get in the past. They want it for their next generation. तो उससे क्या हो रहा है, more demand is there, and if you are able to bring a product or service, तो आप ये सोच सकते हैं how much growth potential for your product and services there in tier 2 and tier 3 cities of India. Technology leap is there. India's technology has outpaced the growth of the world. Imagine having access to the e-commerce platforms. Imagine having access to the UPI payments. Imagine having access to the high-speed internet facilities right at your home. And then you are building the AI businesses, the online businesses. Everything in the world is changing because AI is revolutionizing the businesses like .com has revolutionized in 1998. So you can ride on that wave just by being active on the new parameters of technology. Cultural and social roots. Moving back to your home country or moving back to your hometown gives you the access to that connection which you must have been missing in abroad. The isolation over there versus the social connections over here in your hometown gives you that confidence, gives you that opportunity, which will act as a foundation for the business success. Having lived back and forth in Canada and India, I've seen by myself the energy in the small towns of India, the energy and the vibrancy that you feel when you are in India, and of course the exposure, the new tech features that you get from the exposure you get in Canada. So I would say, like, if you are getting a chance of migrating back with the exposure you already have in the places where you are living, it is the right moment. Imagine, you can be the person who is coming back to your hometown and starting that agri-tech business, or maybe you're starting, an export business of, handmade crafts, or maybe you're bringing your technology perspective to the small problems that people are facing in India and then making a big business out of that. You can take a lot of examples from the past. This has happened because of the technology innovations in the Western world and the implementations on a mass scale in India. So what are you working on next? Let me know and let's work on that together.